Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to peel back the terrifying layers of Bram Stoker's Dracula. But we're not just summarizing a story here. No, we're going straight to the source, the original journal entries and letters, to uncover the absolute ultimate in Gothic horror. By tracing Jonathan Harker's exact steps, we'll see firsthand how a true masterclass in suspense is built. Let's dive right in.
Listen to them, the children of the night. What music they make. Wow, talk about setting a mood, right? We plunge straight into the eerie atmosphere of the Carpathian Mountains with those chilling words from the Count himself. Just close your eyes and imagine hearing the howling of wolves echoing through a dark valley, and your mysterious host turns to you with a smile and says that. It's the perfect hook into a world where the modern rules of civilization simply no longer apply.
Section 1. Journey into the Unknown.
So, our story kicks off with Jonathan Harker. He's a newly qualified English solicitor traveling east, and we can actually track his journey away from his polite London life directly through his incredibly precise journal entries. At first, he's just your typical tourist. He's noting unpunctual trains, even jotting down a recipe for paprika chicken for his fiancée Mina. But look at his timeline from May 1st to May 5th. As he progresses, we literally see his fast-paced journey grind to a halt as he enters Transylvania. And the deeper he goes, the more the locals react to his final destination with this profound, completely inexplicable terror.
Imagine this. It's May 4th. Harker is at the Golden Crown Hotel in Bistritz, and an old woman hysterically warns him about the eve of St. George's Day. She literally drops to her knees, weeping, and thrusts a crucifix into his hands before he boards his coach. Now, Harker is a modern English churchman. He's been taught to see this as purely idolatrous. But the sheer, unadulterated panic of the locals really shakes his modern sensibilities. You can actually feel the psychological shift beginning to take hold of him. As he boards the coach, the crowd around him starts making the sign of the cross to guard against the evil eye. Ever the diligent student, Harker pulls out his polyglot dictionary in the carriage and discovers that the crowd is whispering dark superstitions. Words like vrolak and volkoslak, Slovak and Serbian terms for a werewolf or a vampire. He is literally driving out of the world of reason and straight into the dark folklore of Eastern Europe. Which brings us to Section 2, The Prisoner of Transylvania. Arriving at this vast, ruined castle in the dead of night, Harker finally meets his eccentric, pale host. And at first, there's this thin, polite facade. But the contrast between what he expected and his grim reality is just staggering. Think about it. Harker is there for a completely mundane, bureaucratic real estate deal. He's explaining the purchase of the Carfax estate in London, armed with maps, law books, and Kodak photos. But then the Gothic horror starts bleeding in. He realizes there are absolutely no servants in this massive castle. None. There are no mirrors either. In fact, the Count throws Harker's shaving glass out the window in a demoniac fury just because he sees Harker cut himself. And the absolute worst part, the doors are locked from the outside. The castle is a veritable prison, and I am a prisoner. You can really feel the chilling realization in that journal entry, can't you? All of Harker's initial upbeat curiosity completely vanishes. The dread just creeps right in, and he realizes he's totally trapped in the Count's golden cage. He's isolated on the edge of a terrible precipice, fully at the mercy of a man who casts no reflection and possesses the grip of a steel vice. Section 3, Children of the Night.
Since walking out the front door is completely out of the question, Harker decides to secretly explore the locked wings of the castle. And, well, this brings him face to face with the terrifying supernatural reality of his host. Imagine looking out your bedroom window in the dead of night and seeing the Count emerge from his window, moving down the sheer stone wall face down, just like a lizard. The moonlight catches him, his cloak spreading out around him like great wings. Harker is absolutely paralyzed, forced to ask himself, what manner of creature is this in the semblance of man?
But wait, the supernatural terror doesn't stop with the Count. Disobeying Dracula's strict warnings, Harker falls asleep in an older, dusty part of the castle. Big mistake. He's visited by 3 phantom women who literally materialize from swirling dust motes in the moonlight. And their traits are horrifying. They throw no shadow, they have brilliant white teeth and ruby lips, and their breath has a bitter offensiveness that smells of pure blood. They are monstrous, yet hypnotically alluring, and they are literally about to fasten their teeth right onto his throat.
How dare you touch him, any of you? This man belongs to me. Just as they're about to strike, the Count violently intervenes. His eyes are blazing with lurid hellfire. He claims Harker for his own immediate needs. And then, to appease the women, Dracula throws them a squirming bag that emits a low wail, kind of like a half-smothered child. The women fade out through the window with it, and Harker is plunged into complete and utter psychological despair.
Let's look at Section 4, The Count's Dark Secret.
Desperate to find a key to the outer doors before he becomes the next meal, Harker decides to scale the sheer castle wall in broad daylight. He climbs through a window, creeps down a dark circular stairway, and descends into an old ruined chapel. The air down there is thick with the sickly odor of newly turned earth, and sitting there he finds exactly 50 great wooden boxes that had been brought up earlier by local Slovak laborers, 50 of them. Inside one of these dirt-filled boxes lies Count Dracula himself, but his physical state is bizarre. There's no breath, no pulse. His eyes are open and stony, yet he has red lips and the warmth of life in his cheeks. He's exhibiting this terrifying, dormant semblance of life. It's like he's neither dead nor completely awake. It gets worse. On a subsequent, even more horrifying visit to the crypt, Harker makes a sickening discovery. He opens the box to find the Count literally gorged on fresh blood. The guy's white hair is now iron gray. He's visibly younger. He is an immortal, parasitic monster. In a fit of absolute madness and desperation, Harker grabs a shovel and strikes the Count right in the face. But the blade only leaves a gash on his forehead before the lid violently falls shut. Which brings us to Section 5, The Threat to England. So Dracula abandons Harker in the locked castle, leaving for London hidden inside one of those dirt-filled boxes. And leaving Harker's fate completely unknown at the bottom of the Carpathian Cliffs, the perspective dramatically shifts. This right here is a masterstroke of suspense. Suddenly, we're reading the innocent, polite letters of his fiancée Mina and her friend Lucy back in England. While Harker is fighting for his life against an ancient demon, Lucy is writing about art galleries, new fashions, and a handsome man who just proposed to her. Stoker is brilliantly manipulating our dread. He's using this dramatic irony to dial up the tension, because these women are tragically, completely oblivious to the evil headed straight for them. We are left with this chilling contrast between Gothic horror and polite high society. We know there are 50 boxes of Transylvanian earth headed for the teeming millions of London. And it begs the ultimate, terrifying question: what will this ancient, blood-gorged evil do once it walks the crowded streets of a modern metropolis? And who among these innocent letter writers will be his very first victim? Well, that's all for this explainer. Keep your windows locked and stay curious.